For high school recruits, having that last chance to impress Division I colleges and universities has been tough amid the current COVID-19 pandemic. In the beginning of August, high schools all over Florida were skeptical about bringing high school sports back. For student athletes, this is their last chance to leave it all on the floor. From football to volleyball, many high schoolers are balancing online learning and a modified season.
So we were just excited for that game, and then for all that come to an end so quick, it felt weird.
With an end to the pandemic nowhere in sight, these young athletes are adapting to their new normal.
I want to go to camps, but since COVID has happened, I wasn't able to go to any.
Only about 2% of high school athletes are awarded athletic scholarships to compete in college. With COVID-19 now in the equation, these athletes are realizing going D1 might have some boundaries.
Hi, my name is Brayden Phillips. I play quarterback at North Florida Christian.
My name is Sanaa Simmons, and I go to Florida High.
My name is DeAndre McCray. I play wide receiver at North Florida Christian. Personally, I wasn't thinking about football season. I was thinking we got an extra week of spring break because me and Brayden were together on spring break, and I was thinking we just had an extra week outside of school.
Well, when COVID-19 first broke news, me and Dre were planning a cruise trip, so we weren't really thinking about it. It was just spring break, and then it finally got more and more serious. FHSA was talking about taking our season to the spring, and then once I realized, because I thought it was gonna be like maybe 2-3 months, and then all of a sudden we'd be back to normal. And then once FHSA started talking, I was like, oh wow, this is really serious. And then once that happened, I was like, this might affect my college recruitment. And then once it finally kicked in that we weren't going back to school, kind of started thinking more and more about football. We weren't really sure how many games we were gonna have because the FHSA was talking for a while, just debating on whether we were gonna have a season in the fall. So we were unsure about that, but we were ready for everything that was coming.
Kind of what Brayden said. And as far as the fans go, we were unsure about how the fans were going to work because our school, they kind of set the boundaries on that. And right now it's just like family members and close friends that can come to our games. And I had plans to go on trips pretty much all across the country. And I can't take any official visits right now or anything like that. So it's kind of crazy. Some of the schools that wanted me to come to their schools and come visit them, I couldn't. I was supposed to go to Oregon June 1st, but I couldn't because of travel restrictions and everything like that. So that kind of shut a lot of things down for me personally. But at the end of the day, you just got to live with it.
As soon as COVID-19 became national news, Dre had just committed to Georgia Southern University.
Whenever it first hit, I remember the day like it was yesterday. I had just committed, and then we went out to eat, and maybe like a day later, everything got shut down. We were supposed to go on a cruise trip with my family and Brayden, and then that got canceled, so we just had to go out of town. But even whenever we went out of town, everything was different. We didn't really know that much about it, so we were just trying to stay safe if we could. In there, bro.
Similar to spring football, club volleyball was also cut short. For junior setter Sanaa, she's learning to adjust through the pandemic.
So in the summer, we were scheduled to play about like maybe 2 tournaments at different high schools, but that got canceled. And then during the season, our coaches got in contact with somebody who was positive, so we had to practice without them for a whole week. And then one of our teammates tested positive, so then we had to shut down for 2 weeks. And I think we missed probably about 3 regular games during those 2 weeks. And so when we came back, we went straight into districts with like no practice, and it was tough. Our practices were longer, and they were about like 5 hours.
Me and Dre plan to take a lot of visits there in the fall. After some games, we're just going to go to some colleges, check it out. But now, with all the restrictions, we can't go to these colleges, and now we just have to wait and see what the colleges bring to us.
I've been on FaceTime, and I've had coaches walk me through the facility, and it's just not the same as walking through it yourself, but it's definitely better than nothing, so you just got to take it and live with it. I didn't know that everything was about to get shut down. I didn't know that we were never going to take visits like this season, I just made the best decision for me at the time, and it was a relief, really. I started off playing flag, and then I started playing tackle in, I think, 3rd or 4th grade. And then middle school, I started playing with Brady.
He's had a pretty strong relationship ever since like 7th, 8th grade. He's always been one of the go-to guys, but our relationship really took a tremendous jump last year because he's been starting for like 3-4 years now. So I knew it was a guy that I could trust.
Whenever we were younger, this is probably my 4th quarterback in high school, and we've all been at the same school, but it's a little bit different because I see him every day. I'm always with him. This is like my best friend, really. So we can think the same thing without saying a word.
Just give a little hand signal.
The season right now has been going pretty good. We're 3-2. We started the playoffs in about 2 weeks, and playing the NFC, it means a lot because it has a great tradition. We have 8 state championships right now, and we're just trying to win another one. We won one our sophomore year, so we're trying to win another one before we graduate.
We're planning on most of our games in at least the regional should be at NFC if we win all the way. But once we get into like the state semifinals, we might have to travel like once or twice.
For athletes that have missed previous seasons due to injuries, this year was supposed to be their comeback season.
The first one was bad. It was like a fracture in my knee, and the second one was just torn ACL. But the fracture, it was like I couldn't walk for like 4 or 5 months. So because I had surgery in October and I didn't get cleared until probably mid-July. So that was a tough one.
He was running. He shouldn't have been running.
So the first one, we were on the goal line. It was 20-14. And we run this play for the first time, and I drop back, and everything looked chaotic. So I step up and I go to run, and this dude comes from the backside and just lands on the knee. And all of a sudden, I tried to get back up, and my offensive lineman tried to help me up, and I just collapsed to the ground. And then the second time, I had him wide open, but I didn't realize that till after. And so when it happened, I stepped up again because I got pressure from the backside. So I stepped up and went to run, and I went to give a little cut, a little 1-2. And on the second cut, my knee like went in, and I got on the ground, and I tried to get up again, and my lineman like yanked me up, and I tried to put pressure on it, and like. Once I put pressure on it, I was like, oh no, this just happened again. My college recruitment's been affected by that a little bit because I haven't been able to like fully show myself at camps and stuff because I've still been recovering. So this senior year was going to be like a breakout summer, but then we realized that the camps were going to get shut down and we'd have to find it during the season. My family's been very like protective of me. So like if I'm messing around in the house with my brothers, they'll be like, okay, Brayden, you need to relax a little bit. And so they've been very protective. And now my mom says if I throw the ball, she doesn't watch where it goes. She watches to see if I get hit or not. When I realized that all the camps were going to get shut down, I wouldn't be able to showcase my abilities. I started training like probably 5-6 times a week instead of just like 3 times. So that affected that a little bit. And then once the season hit, I realized that every game I'd have an opportunity to showcase myself to colleges. So every time we'd play on like TV, I'd send a link out to colleges and just let them watch. Personally, before the game, I always tell myself it's always a great day to be out here. I have an opportunity to showcase my skills, and then before the game, I say a little prayer to God to help me and help my teammates, and if it's in His will, to let us win.
Although volleyball is not a high-contact sport, Sanaa team has had their close contact with COVID-19.
When it got cut short, I had to work out at home in my backyard. I couldn't really go to a volleyball court, and I just had to work out from home. It was tough because I wasn't really doing anything. I kind of started to get out of shape a little bit with my setting, so the only thing I could do was set on a wall or just set to myself. The team has actually been doing really well. We kind of came closer together because it's hard times right now. So one day after practice, we got a text message from our coach and the player that they tested positive and we couldn't come back to school, we couldn't practice. And she basically said also some of our main season games were canceled, and we were all kind of like scared. We thought that like we had it too, and we were nervous because we also had districts. We didn't know if we were going to play in districts, and we didn't know if anybody else had COVID, so it was kind of like a scary situation. I have been interested in playing in college. Since it's my junior year, I'm starting to like email colleges. I want to go to camps, but since COVID has happened, I wasn't able to go to any camps. I had to email footage, like video footage of me playing, and I actually haven't gotten enough footage because many of our games have been canceled, so that's been a main problem. It's going to be hard because the only thing the colleges can look at for me is just like video footage. They won't be able to come to my tournaments, or I can't go to any camps, so it's going to be a struggle.
Down. Set, go.
Braden is the starting quarterback at North Florida Christian High School, a 8-time state championship team.
I know at the we started this year in person, but at the end of last school year, it was all online, and that was chaotic because there's so many distractions at home and all that. So I was just trying to get done with the year.
For high school athletes, going from in-person classes to virtual learning has been chaotic while keeping up their sport.
Like Braden said, at the end of the last year, it was kind of chaotic. And actually this year we had to do some online school because our team had to quarantine for 2 weeks. So we were online for 2 weeks. And it was tough because you go from in-class learning one day and literally like the next day you're online trying to learn, and it's just not the same.
So we played our first game of the season against Jefferson County, and one of their players got it. So then the news broke to us like probably halfway through the next week. So we were in shock because we were about to play this team down the road, and so we were just excited for that game, and then for all that to come to an end so quick, it felt weird.
It's been tough a little bit, but you just got to work through it. And you just got to take advantage of having your teachers there, because one of our teachers, she came in contact with somebody that had it. So she's teaching from home. She has a full classroom, but she's teaching on Zoom. And it's just a tough way to learn, but you just got to take it and get it done.
Most of the time, if we have like a tense situation where I got to get the ball to somebody, most of the time it's either Dre.
Yeah, I'm going to catch the ball. I joke with Braden because we throw a lot of little screens. I get him all his yards. But
Okay.
sometimes before the play, we'll call it, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm getting this ball, and then it'll be a touchdown. So it's just something I already know where he's going with the ball most of the time. I think if you got injured, it would be tough. But our school, we pride ourselves on being tough. And right now, especially being a senior with COVID-19, I think that if you have the chance to play and you're hurting a little bit, you just got to push through it. But if you're injured, you can't really do anything about that. But if you're hurting, you got to tough it out and help your team any way you can.
We know every team that we're going to face is always going to be a challenge because all teams in our districts, none of them are just pushovers. All of them have something to bring to the table. So we know every game we got to go in with that same mentality, no matter if we're playing the number 1 seed or the 8th seed, it doesn't matter who.
The pandemic has stripped high school athletes of many opportunities. However, they are learning to persevere through adversity.
100% in every game.
24/7, 365. It just kind of means take advantage of every opportunity because you never know when something will be taken away from you.
I know they prayed on my downfall.
They what?
I know they prayed on my downfall. On R10, yeah, I stood tall.
You did?
They so disloyal, show them how to boil. Go get a thermometer for the pot. I need this beer cooked right. Let's keep that water 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You ever been inside a federal courtroom? Homie, you ever went to trial and fought for your life? Being broke did something to my spirit. Asked so many to plug me, they act like they couldn't hear me. Look at me now, driving German engineering. You don't want your baby mama keep them near me, Kilroy. Remember when I used to use your L's to hit the road, hit the O and make them big boy sales? Move, remember when you had them green things made with vacuum seals, trying not to have them green things smell? Feds was on me. What you know about related through money? I don't know nothing. I just used to see them walk to the county. I be with women.